You're watching TVC Breakfast. Now, childlessness is not an occurrence so easily borne by couples.
Yeah, it has led to the disintegration of many marriages. And now doctors are begging to detect more cases of infertility in men.
This report takes a look at some factors responsible for male infertility.
Doctors are beginning to notice a decline in the semen of an increasing number of young men worldwide. Although a particular factor has not been pointed out as the major reason, there are contributory factors identified as precipitators of low sperm count in men. These factors include sexually transmitted diseases as well as other habits which some men enjoy without knowing their side effects. Doctors say sperm is produced when the scrotum is 4 degrees cooler than the other parts of the body. So men are advised against frequent hot baths and the wearing of tight shorts, which generate heat in the scrotal sacs, as well as placing their laptops on their laps, which also generate heat. According to a research carried out by the New York State University, the use of a laptop on the table is safer. A lot of fishes taste nice, but doctors say not all are good for men who want to have kids. Mackerel and tuna are to be avoided because they are high in mercury and can negatively affect the level of omega-3 in the body, leaving the sperm deformed or damaged. Fish rich in omega-3 or zinc are more recommended. Doctors say men who indulge in regular intake of alcohol and carbonated drinks are prone to infertility. Alcohol affects sperm production and caffeine damages the sperm. Smoking slows down the movement of the sperm, which needs to be strong and active to fertilize the female egg. Medical research has also revealed sugary drinks cause an increase in insulin resistance, which results in the creation of stress and tension in the body that hinders sperm production. In Africa, Nigeria inclusive, women are often blamed when there is no conception. But medical research now shows clearly that men longing to have children must rise above their ego and go for medical checks to ensure no gap is left for families to remain childless. All right, we have a physician, Dr. Ademola Denloye, in the studio with us right now. It's good to have you join me, Dr. Denloye.
Good morning.
Now, let me first of all ask, is it possible to have impotency that is hereditary?
No, unless there are genetic defects. Okay. Yes, there are some genetic conditions in which leads to that kind of problem.
But it can be carried from, transmitted anyway?
No.
Okay.
No.
All right. Now, this issue has been one thing that is not necessarily on the front burner, even though it affects a lot of people, but they keep it very silent and private and all of that. Talk to us, how bad is the situation?
Well, a recent survey shows that about 52% of men over 40 have some form of erectile dysfunction or the other. That is, they are not able to have adequate sexual intercourse.
What can be responsible for this, or what are the different ways of dysfunction that one can identify?
Well, basically, we classify dysfunction as either physiological, like I said earlier, or biological. Most of the time, biological causes are caused by underlying conditions like diabetes, hypertension, prostate enlargement, drug abuse, some genetic conditions like sickle cell, and that cause all these hemoglobinopathies. So basically, these issues are there. And then, of course, there's also sexual psychology where the person has been abused as a child and they have problems with
psychological
yes.
problems and
yes.
all of that. Now, we often hear of different kinds of aphrodisiac that people use, boosters of all kinds. And talk to us, how healthy are all of those to use for men?
Well, aphrodisiacs are healthy if they're prescribed properly by doctors, because essentially the danger of using uncontrolled aphrodisiac is what we call priapism, that is a sustained, prolonged and painful erection that will not come down. So if you're going to use aphrodisiacs, it should come from a professional.
But there are people out there who sell different things and they just want to impress everyone, especially so many guys out there who want to, like you have to use the word, impress their ladies or impress their women.
Well, you know, we have problems with control of a lot of medication in Nigeria. So the drugs are there for people to buy uncontrollably. And we also have some local native doctors who have their own preparations, and in some cases they're quite effective.
All right, anyone who has these challenges, how can it be managed, and is there a cure for it in case anyone is impotent, or how do you handle that? Oh,
Of course, there is management for it. Right. Essentially, you've got to go to the doctor, and then after a good history and physical examination and some laboratory tests are done, we try to identify where the cause of the problem. If there's an underlying medical problem, that has to be managed. Most times, once you manage the underlying medical problems, the situation improves. But there are also situations in which the erectile process is controlled by nerves, by blood vessels, and by hormones. It's a multifactorial thing. So that's why we need to try and understand what the issues are and then give medication to correct the issues. And in most cases, there's medication. We can easily manage 80 to 90% of the people who have these problems.
All right. Now, when it comes to the issue of diet, are there some kinds of food that one should eat or one shouldn't eat?
Well, to our knowledge, what we just say is eat everything reasonably in reasonable quantities, you know. And but you want to avoid excessive alcohol. You want to avoid substance abuse, you know, all those things that depress the central nervous system. You want to avoid those things.
Okay. Thank you very much, Dr. Ademola Adeloye, for coming on the program.